There was a real North Star in the design that was this nautilus shell, this iconic, beautiful form of the nautilus. This is a project where we actually had several iterations of what these shade structures might look like. And so we were looking for a balance of something beautiful that would fit in this design and something that was realistic for bringing into the project. So the Renson structure that we found with TBS was perfect. Right? It really solved all these problems of bringing a beautiful shade structure with all of the technology that's integrated there, and in a way that really made sense with the whole project.
I'm very excited to be sitting here with you and honored to hear more about this project. And I had the honor of working with Tim and DJ with Green 17, bringing in the Renson structure to this project and seeing it to what came out of it. I'm in absolute awe of what has been done and how it looks and how it blends in. But I'm also fascinated by the garden itself. And so, Dennis, I would love for you to tell us the story about this project, how it came to this beautiful creation and all the artists that have been involved with it.
Thank you. Well, it did begin with me meeting Lee Unkrich at a San Francisco decorator showcase. I'd done the motor court on a big mansion. I was doing showcase in those days. And he fell in love with these big stone troughs and with these succulents. And he said, I have a property in Marin. Would you come and look at it? I love all these succulents. I love these planters. So I came up and we ended up placing all that material here. And then, of course, the project grew in scope because that's what happens with the garden. And we created this sort of a subtropical Marin-based garden. I also introduced Lee to Marcia Donahue, who's this artist, the sculptor who brings in all the beautiful ceramics. And so she brought in all these wonderful pieces, and Lee fell in love with her work, and a lot of them were underwater themed. So we finally titled the garden when it was ready to go on a garden conservancy tour, high in the hills under the sea. And that garden was as it was for many years. And then Tim wanted to join on the project to upgrade the garden to a whole new level where it was going to be dining and cooking and entertaining and lounging and fire pits. And so then Tim came in and he kind of drove the project to the next level, really, Green 17.
Well, this is a project that's happened over time. It's happened
So
in
it
layers.
was your like simplify and what was the other?
Simplify, intensify?
Yeah, simplify, intensify. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that ends up happening at different turns of all of our projects because there's so many moving parts. I mean, there's this history of the art and the succulent garden and the start of this palmatum that when we stepped into this project, it was one of those COVID projects where everyone started entertaining more at home.
Yes.
Having friends and family over was important. And so the clients just had a really simple request. Could we just have a place to cook outside and a place where we could have friends and family gather, have a party, have a dinner party, and have some shade, right? But these conversations start going, and all of a sudden that wish list, which is a rather short, simple wish list, gets overlaid on what else can we do here. So in the same spirit of this Marin Garden Goes Subtropical Succulent Collection, we're always looking at site-specific opportunities for what's the best thing we can do here? How can we make some magic from the simple project needs? The clients also had this beautiful fossil.
Yeah, there was an ammonite that I'd gifted the clients. It was a stone fossilized ammonite, and we were sitting around, the four of us, and we were saying, now, what's the theme going to be of this garden? And Laura picked up the ammonite. She goes, what about this? And we all looked at it, and we went Fibonacci, the chambered nautilus, the ammonite, and that became the driving design concept that
That's
everything was extrapolated from.
And I love how it is incorporated everywhere you look, actually. There are details of it, and it's absolutely fascinating. I love that.
in the spirit of simplify, intensify. All of the Fibonacci series that sort of lays out the nautilus shell form, all of a sudden, all those mathematics are integrated into this project in ways that we really nerded out.
It's
on the
kind of
math.
subconscious and on a lot of levels. I mean, it's all built in, but you don't really fully grasp it when you see it. But when you start looking at the detail, you go, oh, there it is again.
Right.
And it keeps resurfacing and showing up in other parts of the garden.
And the colors, too. The colors that, let's say, the Renson structure brought in, and the Earth Oasis, the color, and especially when the shades are all down, and how it just blends in with shapes of just the round shapes as well, where we were just talking about that, right? So how would the shapes would work together, right?
Yeah, the colors work together, like the core 10 spiral wall with nice slices to view, little slices of the garden through it. And then the color that Renson offered on the structure, it all became one color story. It kind of drove the infrastructure of the garden, as it were.
Yeah, there's a real balance of the colors of the earth, all this terracotta, the Corten steel, the paving, and all these details that we have layered in with the details of the garden.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, everything's really sensual, and there's this balance of it being neutral and earth toned, and then but the colors of the garden come into the pillows, the legs of the furniture, and it's sort of stitched through the built environment too.
That kind of aqua story keeps kind of resurfacing, and
I love it.
realizes the pops, which relates to the sky, which relates to the pool, which relates to paradise, to the oasis.
Beautiful work.
They had a theory of being on
That's right.
Kauai, and so they loved palms, and we'd already established a palmatum here that we just extrapolated on, and added a lot more cycads to create a bigger horticultural story, as it were. So what started as succulents and a handful of palms ended up becoming a real subtropical, very organic subtropical plant collection, really, as it were.
I'd also would love to highlight the artists and who participate in the trade, who you call is the team, right?
Yeah.
So tell me more about all the amazing people that worked here on this project.
There were a lot of people that came together to make the dream team that make this project happen. The early organizing efforts were certainly this beautiful Corten steel wall. We work with an artist named John McCoy.
John McCoy, he's the real McCoy.
Yeah, John McCoy is the real McCoy, and he did such a beautiful job delivering all the Fibonacci math that's in this wall. It's a series of complicated angles, all stitched together, and even how it ascends as it goes through the garden was one of that piece of artistic vision. So John McCoy was critical early on in the backbone of this project. We also brought in the Concreteworks for the concrete fire pit and for the kitchen counters. The furniture we're sitting in right now, this Galanter Jones, the heated furniture that we love and that we're bringing in into more and more gardens, was a critical partner.
And the black sort of charcoal color that you're sitting in, and then the accent of the blue. So
Yep.
we made the sofa this beautiful blue, and then the legs tie it all back together again, and the pillows carry this story even further from a sort of interior design perspective.
And then we found furniture that we hadn't used before. The Spanish company Ethimo is very artful, very beautiful, and fits in perfectly with this project. Working with TBS was a pleasure. How we were going to find the right shade structure that was a square peg in a round hole.
And I remember our first meeting with Lee as well, and it was, I think, December 2021, COVID time, right?
Right.
At the ping pong floor.
Correct. Yes.
right.
Yes.
That's right. We had to find the one and only Renson in the Bay Area at that time.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Right. Well, and that was
That was the start of it.
That's right. Seeing that was enough. It encouraged all of us that we could put this together. And then with the beautiful terracotta finish package that you brought, all of a sudden this square shade structure in the central garden
blends
still
in.
made perfect sense. Yeah.
It's very comfortable sitting under it, actually, with the heaters on.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Yeah, you can really gather in the winter here and be just fine. And in the summertime, when you want to keep the bugs out, the screens come down. It's kind of got everything you need: heat, light,
And
protection.
it was also raining cats and dogs yesterday. We
That's
were
right.
here during the rain. So
No, the Renson structure really delivers. I mean, there is that sense when you turn the heat on, you feel it. When you close the shades and you leave the heat on, this is like a covered porch. It's really comfortable, and you could use this any time of year. And that was the vision, is that the way that this came and met the house.
and the garden.
Let's
right?
yeah, it's this bridge between having al fresco dining, but having it totally connected.
Right,
indoor, outdoor.
near the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's all very close, and
Yeah.
it makes sense logistically.
I also would love to celebrate Danny. I would love for you to talk about him as well.
Well, so thank you for asking. To make these projects happen is it takes this incredibly dedicated team, and we're all doing our part to bring these dreams into reality. Our landscape contractors are critical to delivering beautiful gardens, and so this is a company that we worked with for years.
Dan Fix.
Dan Fix Landscape is a fixture in Marin. No pun intended.
I have a 30-year relationship with Dan Fix.
Yeah, we've been doing gardens
He's been
forever.
building our gardens since day one. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny really came into his own in the years that we were making this garden together. The fact that we lost him in the middle of the project was
It was
heartbreaking.
heartbreaking for everybody,
Yeah,
for everyone.
we're in deep relationship with our contractors. As designers, our contractors are really important, and we get to know each other over time. And
To build that trust.
Yep.
Yes.
yeah, to build the trust, to build the rapport, and to understand the skill sets that everyone can deliver, so that we can just bring more beautiful projects to the world. Danny really came into his own.
Yeah.
And so what he did on this project is a beautiful testimony
Yes.
to his dedication and his skills. There are many small details that were worked out, either design, build, fashion. Just a problem comes up, you have a discussion. Danny would always weigh in.
And you resolve it.
Yes, and TBS Design Gallery, we worked so closely with him during the installation as well of the Renson. So
That's right.
yes, it was heartbreaking, but as a story and the life goes on, right? So I'm happy to see how this project came to fruition, and the team that everyone who worked in, and seeing it now completed. I want to
And grown in.
and grown in.
Yeah,
It's
really,
absolutely
yeah.
beautiful, stunning. And so I want to thank both of you for all the work that you've done, to thank the entire team, the homeowners as well, who been so closely working with all of us on this project, and just want to congratulate on this amazing project.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Liana.
It's an honor to be with you and to be able to talk about it.
Thank you.